Hello SLAPAFISH community, welcome back to another World Tanks console video. So in this video, I'm going to be listing off the top 10 most played tanks in World of Tanks console. Well, this is also for the World War II because no Cold War tank actually makes it onto this list. So this is top 10 most played tanks in World of Tanks console. And also, if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing because it's free and it helps out the channel a ton. And I'm going to be using sample battles from WhatStars.com, so yeah. So let's just start off with the number 10 spot, which is the FV215B183, which is commonly known as the Death Star, with 5,882,302 battles played in it, with a win ratio of 47.32. And yeah, very unsurprisingly, this is one of the most played tanks in World Tanks because of the big gun it has and the decent armor that the Death Star also has. So the Death Star is known for the gun. It used to hit for 1750, but now it hits for 1450. But it also does 1,150 damage with its AP round if you pen it with its 310 millimeters of penetration, and its HES is 240 millimeters of penetration. But at 1,450 damage, but if you load high explosive, you do 1,650 damage. It's not a fast tank destroyer, but it makes it up in the gun. So let's move on to the number 9 spot, which is the Waffentrager Pz with 5,913,414 battles. And it also has a win ratio of 48.66%. So this tank gets two different guns. It gets a 15 centimeter and a 12.8 centimeter. I love using the 12.8 centimeter because the 12.8 centimeter just feels so amazing on this tank. And yeah, it's right before you get the Waffentrager E100 and the Grill 15. You also have really good concealment, and you also have really high gun depression, really good gun depression. It's like 8 or 10 degrees on the back of the tank when you're using the 12.8 and you put your gun on the back of the tank. And also, it comes with really high view range at 410. It does 560 damage per shot, and it's a really great tank with a really great gun. And yeah, let's move on to the number 8 spot, which is the IS-3, a Tier 8 Soviet heavy tank with 5,928,881 battles played in it, with a 49.91% win ratio. So yeah, this is decently armored heavy tank. It has a fight nose, and it has a really strong turret that most people can't pin through the turret, especially when you're at tier 8s or even tier 9s, and tier 10s will even struggle through the turret armor of this tank. So yeah, it has a really good 122 millimeter gun doing 390 damage per shot with pretty decent penetration, 225 on its standard, 265 on its premium, and it has decent mobility, able to go 38 forward, 15 reverse with a power to weight ratio of 14.25. Now we're going to move on to the number 7th spot, which is our only and first artillery of this list, which is the M5355. And this is definitely the most played artillery by a long shot. And it's not very hard to see why, because the 5355 has a very big gun. It's really good at shotgunning. It's got really good damage at 1,100. You have way more before Artillery 2.0, and it's fast. And it has like I said, it can shotgun, and it also has a semi-turret. So basically, you can sit still and aim pretty far to the left and pretty far to the right before you have to move your hull. 5355 is my most played artillery also, and yeah, it is such a great artillery. And let's move on to the number 6 spot, which is the Tiger II at 6,619,737 battles played with a 49.51% win ratio. So this is a tier 8 heavy tank, a German heavy tank that has a pretty good gun. It's also the most accurate heavy tank in the entire World War II side, boasting a 0.31 accuracy. I just recently did a replay on this tank also. And it has pretty decent armor, especially after it got buffed. And they gave it really good armor. So let's move on to the number 5th spot, which is a tier 7 German heavy tank, the tank before the Tiger 2, which is the Tiger 1, with 7,055,629 battles played in it, with a 49.53% win ratio. Now, you could say a lot of reasons why people play this tank, because it was one of the most famous tanks of World War II. If not the most famous, it also has a really good gun, the 88 centimeter. 8.8 centimeter. Great penetration at 203 on its standard, 237 on its premium. Really high DPM at 2,150, doing 240 damage per shot. It also has a lot of hit points for a tier 7 heavy tank at 1,500. And yeah. Let's move on to the number 4th spot, which is also the tier 9 of the same exact line. So we had the tier 8, the tier 7, and the tier 9 of the exact same line. Now it's the E75's turn at 7,124,025 battles with a 49.25% win ratio. It's got a really big gun. It's classified as one of the best heavy tanks at tier 9, doing 490 damage per shot with its great mobility and great armor. 40 at the going forward, 40 forward and 15 reverse with an okay horsepower ratio with 14.34. And yeah, so yeah, let's move on to the number 3 spot. The number 3 spot is our last tank destroyer of this list. This is the T110E4. It's a tier 10 American tank destroyer with 7,379,210 battles played in it, with a 49.24% win ratio. It does 850 damage per shot with a pretty decent, with really good armor, with its turret able to go from 90 degrees to the left and 90 degrees to the right. And its mobility is quite decent at 35 forward and 10 reverse, which is a terrible reverse speed though. Let's move on to the number 2 spot, which is the highest win ratio of any tank on this list, which is the T29, the tier 7 American heavy tank at 7,731,666 battles played in, with a 50.72% win ratio, doing 320 damage per shot. And its turret is really, really strong. It is definitely classified as the best turret tier for tier. At 279 millimeters of armor at the front, 127 at the side, and 102 at the rear. But the frontal armor with that strong mantlet is why this tank is so popular and so powerful. With its 10 degrees of gun diversion, with its pretty decent good gun, able to go hold down even when bottom tier. But watch out for 122 millimeter caliber guns, because that can overmatch the top of your turret. So good luck for that. So the number 1 spot is the tier 9 British heavy tank, the Conqueror, breaking the 8 million battles played at 8,140,934 battles played with a 49.6% win ratio. It has a really good DPM at 2,284, doing 400 damage per shot. Also able to go hold down, and you can pretty much go hold down in front of anything and not get penetrated from it. It has okay mobility at 34 forward and 12 reverse, but overall it's a good tank that also has a really good view range at 400 meters. So yeah, that's it for this room. If you like this list, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Also remember to SLAPAFISH, because we're always not. And peace out. See ya.